welcome back to my channel. It has been a crazy week, so I fell a little behind, but my last video I was doing a first impressions about the Irojiten colored pencils from Tombow. They do have 3 different sets. There's a rainforest, woodlands, and seascape. I bought the rainforest ones just because I wanted to try them out and see what they were like, if they were worth it. And I did my first impressions video last week, maybe a little sooner than that. And I was just swatching out the colors. Let me see if I can get that swatch back up. Yeah, we basically just went over the colors that come with the set, kind of what you can expect, that sort of thing. And then each set has just 30 pencils. So here is the swatch. Oops, move some of this out of the way. So here's the 30 colors we had. When I swatched them out, they were all pretty good of a selection. And I challenged myself to use every single color that came in this rainforest set in a picture. Now, my first complaint when I did my first impressions was that I wasn't really impressed with the amount of greens, because you kind of assume by the name, so this is the rainforest set, you kind of picture rainforest colors, lots of tropical colors. So I honestly expected a lot more greens, yellows, and oranges, and I only got 5, and then I have 2 turquoisey ones, but really it wasn't a ton of greens. So that was a little disappointing. But other than that, you know, they were still pretty colors. There was still plenty of work, or I could do work with them combo wise. So it wasn't like a deal breaker. So today I thought we would go over kind of my assessment of the pencils and everything more in depth now, and then also kind of give you my final opinions. So let me get some of this out of the way. All right. Okay, so first thing first, they do come in these cute little boxes. It's like a little dictionary set. You could set it on a bookcase, pull it out type of deal. So that was kind of cute. Each one is 30 pencils, and then within the dictionary, you have volumes. So they are different. Like they have vivid tone, deep tone, pale tone. Some sets will also have more of the deep tones in them. And then, like I said, there's 3 different ones. So I went with Rainforest, which comes with Volume 1, Pale Tone 1, Volume 2, Vivid Tone 1, Volume 3, Deep Tone 1. So when you pull these out, they're just 10 per box, and they are in order. They even give you the color names up here, which is helpful, but of course you want to swatch them. I've seen some people swatch like right here, but the problem is this is a very toothy cardstock and it's colored, so that doesn't necessarily give you the right impression. But if you do want to swatch on these, just take like a white piece of paper that you would normally color on, glue it down here, and then swatch next to it. Saves you the hassle of having to find and print out one of these. The only reason I printed out a swatch chart like this was because in case I ordered all of them, I wanted them all in color order, because I would obviously, if I bought all of them, I wouldn't be using this thing. I would move them all to a case. So that's the only reason I did that. But each set will give you the color number and name. They have some cute names. Like, so this was the deep tone. And these are all very dark, you know, deep colors, as they say. The vivid tone is just a very vibrant rainbow selection of colors, and I really liked them. And then the pale tone were these pastel-like colors. And honestly, they were really pretty, even when swatching. I was pretty impressed. Pencil-wise, if you were to pick up a Prismacolor, they feel about the same in weight. And then they are about similar in lead size. Now, unlike a Prisma, you know, no color dipped end, and we all know during their manufacturing issues, you could have the lead pop right out. So these are color dipped, and it's a nice glossy finish. They do have the writing, really hard to read, in a silver print on a white barrel. I absolutely hate when they do that. I wish they knew that people have to actually read these things, but I don't even know if it shows up on my camera. It's rough. Either way, it's a pretty good construction. The wood didn't like chip or fray when I used my dull sharpener. But then again, that could just be the sharpener. I didn't test these out in my other sharpeners. The dull is like a pencil saver. It'll take the crappiest pencil and sharpen it just fine. So when I was coloring with these, in my first impressions, I showed you I had a sharp point, and we had no breakage on any of these 30 pencils. So that's really good, because Prismacolor and a few other brands, you put those to a point, and yeah, you get some breakage. So real quick, I just want to go over the colors. In the Rainforest collection, I did get 3 pinks, although this is more of a corally pink. I got 2 reds. I only have 1 orange, which kind of sucks for a rainforest. You know, you just picture a lot of oranges and greens and pinks and purples. I don't know. I got 2 yellows and then like an olivey yellow. So it's hard to blend with those. And then greens, like I said, that is my biggest complaint. They call this Rainforest, and I don't know if the manufacturer was really trying to deliver pencils that lived up to their category name. So I'm not sure if I can hold it against them. I am kind of curious though, like if the Seascape, you know, has a lot more blues or how that works, but the naming seemed off because they called it a rainforest, but really it didn't have an abundance of rainforest colors. I mean, look how many greens you get somewhere in all the other collections. You would actually have to buy the other 2 to fill this in, by the way. But I only got 5 in a rainforest one, so I found that weird. And then I got 5 blues, which you would figure you would have more of those in a Seascape collection. So again, I don't know if they really intended to live up to that name, but that part is kind of misleading for someone, because unless you go and research it, you kind of just assume you're going to get a certain set of colors. I got 3 browns, 3 purples. This purple is incredibly dark. And then all of the grays that this has made, or these sets have, are in the Rainforest one. And you have 2 grays and a black. But the colors weren't bad. Like, when I was swatching these out, I knew I could make some color combos. So that's just something to consider. Let's get on to my usual checklist. All right, so for this test, I used Midnight Blue, which is number D8. It is found in volume 3, the Deep Tone 1 set. Again, we're just doing the Rainforest collection. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, these are a hard pencil. They remind me a lot of Derwent Artists with their hardness. So they layer really well. I mean, you know, even with layer 1, I got some coverage, and I'm using a pretty dark color here. And layer 2, 3, 4, 5, you can see how they build up really well. I still have some tooth. I could add more layers to 5. And you can layer on top, so I give them that. They just are very hard, so they really cramp your hands if you're the type like me that would rather smush the colors together and not, ouch. So when it came to pressure, light pressure, you get a very light layer. Medium, you do get some more coverage. Heavy, even with heavy pressure, I could not fill in the full box without tooth showing. Just want to make sure you guys can see that. So with a Prismacolor, if I were to press heavy in here, I would fill this whole box. There's no tooth, and it wouldn't take a lot of effort. Same thing with my Luminance. Derwent Artist. I mean, the list goes on. Even my Derwent Artist, I could fill this in with heavy pressure. So that's one thing. They're really hard to get out there. So it's almost like they have the hardness of artists, but the ability of pro colors. Pro colors, you can't get that color out. So you have to use a blender pencil with these really to smooth things out, unless you plan on layering for years, and I just don't do that. Smudge wise though, because they are so hard, they do not smudge that much. I don't know if you guys can see that in there. That's why I pick a darker color. It's easier to show the smudge, but this was me pressing really hard and rubbing over it a whole bunch to get that smear, and it's barely there. So these are pretty friendly in that fact that, unlike Prismacolor where you go like that and oops, it's everywhere, you don't have to worry about that. And even though I have to press incredibly hard, these are not dusty at all. Like, I didn't get a ton of dust. Usually harder pencils, you press really hard and they just become a huge dust ball, and you go to brush it off and then you have smears everywhere. I didn't get that with these. That's why I compare them a lot to the Derwent Artist and Pro Color ones, because those two, you can press really hard. They don't smudge a lot. They don't cover as well because they need a lot of layers, but they aren't dusty, so that's good. Now, erasability. These erased really well, considering these are a wax pencil. I don't know if it's just because they're a harder wax or what, but I used heavy, medium, and light pressure, and you can see the erasability there. So that's pretty good. I could go over that with a new pencil. Now, price. Here's where we get kind of all over the map. These literally can range from $31 to $52 per set. And the reason I have a range is it depends on where you shop. If you go to Blick Arts, they have them at like $41.83 right now. Just right now. On Amazon, a few of their sets, like the Rainforest one right now, or no, it's the Seascape one, is $31 and some change, whereas the Rainforest is in the 40s. But then they had the Woodlands one on Amazon for 50 something. I'm not even going to link them in the description below. What I'm going to tell you guys is just shop around, go everywhere. The prices are all over the map. If you use an app like Honey, that's what I use, you can actually put all of them on your watch list from every single site, and you'll get emails when the price drops on specific websites. Amazon, Dick Blick, anyone that sells these. So that's my suggestion. I'll link to Honey. I use it quite a bit to let me know when the price has legitimately dropped, because Amazon is deceiving. They always have a list price, but you're never paying the list price on Amazon. It changes all the time. And so it's really important to track the pricing changes. The lowest I have seen these so far is $31 US. Now, that's not to say they won't go on sale or anything, and when they first came out, they were a lot more expensive, so the price has gone down. But we get 30 pencils. Say you are able to snag them for $31, then that's just a little bit over $1 a pencil. Honestly, I don't know if I would pay that. I can get my open stock Prismacolors for like $1.89 right now, and they are so much easier to work with and blend. I have mixed feelings on these. They're not awful pencils at all. they're just too hard for me, and getting those colors down was really rough. So that said, I challenged myself to use every single color here from the Rainforest collection to make a picture. It was rough, guys, because, like I said, very limited here. 30 colors. Can it be done? Of course, just a lot of time. So here we go. This was colored with the Rainforest collection. Every single pencil was used. I can't believe I was able to pull that off because some of them were really hard to get to blend together because they just weren't friendly family colors, but I did it. So, the colors are very vibrant though. I mean, check out these greens. They look awesome. They pop off the page. These turquoise are awesome. You know, I was working with a few different color combinations. I did have to break out a color blender because my hand was killing me. I started up here and I was just layering and layering, and the hardness of these things, I was just, yeah, I couldn't handle it anymore. So I had to finally break out my blender pencil. And I used both my Prismacolor colorless blender I tried, and I used my full blender from Caran d'Ache. I found that they blended a lot better with the Caran d'Ache one. It's just because it's smoother. You just have to remember with a Caran d'Ache one, it doesn't pull color out like the Prismacolor one. So where the color is, it's pretty much where it's staying. You're just kind of buffing it out. But it worked well, especially when I needed to buff some of these layers in the purple. It was getting kind of dicey. So, I'm not gonna lie though, when this picture was done, my hand was killing me. Like, oh, ow. So if you're like me and you don't like to layer a bunch, you prefer to kind of press a little harder and get things moving, I really don't suggest these for you. They're gonna cramp your hand. I mean, even my Derwent artists are hard, but I don't have to use that much effort to get them to work together. Now, that said, perhaps if I had more colors that I could have made a more natural gradient, it would have worked out better and not hurt my hand. But I only had those select 30 colors, so I was limited and I had to layer to make some of those color combos work. Otherwise, they would have just looked like a hot mess. So that's, you know, kind of something to consider also. Say I had all of them, maybe I would have been able to do this without so much pain. But considering the price and the pencil, I honestly don't think I'm going to buy the other sets. I'm on the fence. Like, maybe if I see a sale that makes it worth it, maybe I'll dive in. I'm not saying these are awful, they're just not for me. So keep that in mind. I'm not a fan, but that doesn't mean you won't like them. I mean, there's people that love those Caran d'Ache Pablos, and I finally caved in and bought them, and I hated those things. But the same thing, they require a ton of layers, they were scratchy, they hurt. It was just not my coloring style. So, but I have so many people that love them, and so everyone's different. This is just from my point of view. They didn't work out for me very well, but they still, I did get them to blend. They weren't dusty. They don't break on you. The colors are very vibrant. I mean, look at these colors. They do pop off that page. So you got to give them that. But I would love to know if you have the Rainforest ones, what you think. Again, if you're a layering person, these probably would be great for you. But if you're not into 1,000 layers, these will probably cramp your hands. I mean, people call polychromos heavy or, you know, hard on the hands, but they blend a lot smoother than these ones. So I don't know if it was just that I didn't have all the colors and that's why I had to kind of force some together or whatnot, but I just don't think these will be the pencil for me. I would love to hear your opinion on them, if you've had a similar experience. If you have the other sets too, let me know in the comments below kind of if you felt that made it easier. Because again, I'm only playing with 30 colors here. That's not a lot of colors. So I did use every single one in here though. All 30 are in this picture. It was insane. I didn't know on some of those colors how I was going to squeeze them in there. And it still kind of, it came together. So, hey, I did it. But yeah, I would love to know your guys' opinion on these, if you used them, what you thought, if you kind of agree with me or had similar experience, but also share your experience with others just so people know, because like I said, we're all so different. My opinion should not be like the gold standard where you go, oh, she said no, don't buy them. Because it could be the pencil for you based on your coloring style. So just always keep that in mind anytime I do a review. This is simply my opinion. I know I get a lot of comments from people, you know, that go, why are you saying that? These are the best pencils ever. And, you know, I want to make it clear this is my opinion from my personal coloring experience and just how I like to color. This doesn't mean you would hate them or everybody hates them. I just don't like them. So I always have to put that disclaimer because otherwise I get comments from people. But yeah, definitely share your experiences so others watching this can read the comments and maybe kind of get a general overview from everyone else who's used them and then decide for yourself if it's worth it. But overall, they are very vibrant. They hold their point. They layer well. They erase well. They do not smudge. I mean, that took effort. I mean, you do have this price range that you're going to have to find. I would wait till they drop to the lower end, obviously. And then, of course, you know, these are the colors you get. So just keep that in mind if you buy the Rainforest one. I will say, though, while I'm not going to color in my books, I'm going to use these in my coloring planner and kind of like do it by theme, you know. 1 month I'll do this and that. That was really the reason I bought these. So they're still going to be used in my coloring planner and kind of have pastel or vivid themes for the week. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope everyone is doing well. I know things are chaotic no matter where you live right now, it seems. And just take care of yourselves. And then until next time.